view. What the bosses view. You gotta sacrifice. You wanna move like bosses move.
YMA, Young Millionaires Association. Yeah, see, that's the association. Joe.
All right. Welcome, guys, to the YMA Nation podcast. It is Friday football. Episode number 31.
31.
We're growing.
We are.
We are growing fast.
I'm excited.
I want to grow faster.
Faster.
Make sure if you're on right now to like, comment, and subscribe. I am Joe Wallace, and this is
Rebecca Wallace.
Guys, make sure you take 2 seconds and
subscribe.
So Friday football, guys, we have a lot of great news to talk about.
We have a lot of interesting topics.
The draft.
Who's going? Who's staying?
The Tennessee scandal.
Fiasco.
Scandal, investigation, everything. All right.
Yeah.
So let's start off with the top news.
News. What you want to start with?
Let's talk about Tennessee. I
think
that's
they fired 10 coaches.
10 coaches.
Including the head coach. Allegedly, the players were getting paid. Oh, Lord. Allegedly. In McDonald's paper bags. Money. Allegedly.
Was it the brown paper bags for real? Were they getting paid with the brown paper bags?
It's alleged. So it's under investigation.
I don't know. That's a hard thing.
First of all.
Okay.
Now, if you going to entangle yourself.
Not the entanglement. Not the football entanglement.
In investigation, at least have a good team.
They went 3-7. Like,
at least.
Who you paying?
They not doing their job. You are paying the wrong people.
Wow. That's crazy. If I'm paying someone, I want results.
Right? The coach is like, I'm going to get some good players. We're going to get them paid. We're going to have a good team. I'm going to get a raise. Whatever.
Maybe that was the anticipation.
The anticipation. Right?
That's
he had a plan.
Right. He had a plan.
But he didn't succeed.
He executed on his plan. Unfortunately, his team
it was the wrong plan to have.
It didn't turn out right.
Yeah.
So, head coach Jeremy Pruitt, his inside linebacker coach Brian Niedermeyer, and outside linebacker coach Shelton Felton, they was all fired. They're out of their job. Those three, along with 7 other members that were staff members from the recruiting office.
Well, I mean, that's just a hot topic in football and college football. In college football, it's been a hot topic for years is should the players get paid?
Right.
What's your thoughts? Do you think that the players should get paid for their likeness in college football?
I don't think so. I think you have to put in that work.
Right. This is my thing. You are getting paid. If you are a scholarship football player, which most of the ones who any fan wants.
Y'all give it up for it. Keep going.
Yeah. Most of the ones that any fan wants any gear for or anything like that, they're scholarship athletes.
Right.
You're going to school
for
free. You are getting paid. How do you think that the college professors get paid? By the university.
Right.
So if you're going to school for free, a football scholarship, yes, football brings in a lot of money. They got to pay coaches. They got to pay your high insurance deductibles and fees for when you get injured. If you get injured, they pay for all your medical. You are getting paid.
I mean, if anything, I think what they should have done is they should have took all of the money that they paid out and put it into one lump sum and got Mac Jones.
Oh my God.
If you're going to do anything, hey, Mac, here go $500,000. Now, we couldn't put it all in this McDonald's bag, so we got a suitcase in the back, too. Man.
But, I mean, in all seriousness, it's going to remain a topic because I get it. When you are a college athlete, then you are working out every day. Your day is like workouts, training, you're on and off the field. I get it. That consumes your day. But what a lot of people forget is they are student athletes. That means they're a student first and an athlete second. You're going to college to get a degree. Yes, you are playing football in hopes to do that in the future, but there's no guarantee on that.
Right.
If you get a degree in something, then you have a high likelihood to go into that field when you graduate.
Yeah. But, it's been happening, and I'm sure that it has happened throughout 2020. They just was, unfortunately, the ones to get caught.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, you want to entice players to come to your school, but the university should put in place, put in like
Programs,
room and board, meal plans,
right.
Put in different things to entice the players. You don't have to pay them money when they're already going to school for free.
I bet the scouts out there right now, like, she just need to be quiet because, that's all, that's all they, it's happening. But
well, my son is going to be a senior next year. And I'm saying this from both perspectives. If he gets a scholarship to go to school, I don't believe he needs to be paid to go to school.
Right.
You have students in college that can't afford to eat and pay for school and pay for an apartment or housing and pay for parking that just are trying to go to school to get an education.
Well, that's why they want that extra money. But
I'm just talking about regular students, not student athletes, regular students. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I think if you go somewhere for free, you're getting paid.
I want to know the details. Like, the only thing they're saying is that it was a NCAA level 1 and level 2 violation. Mm-hmm. I want to know the details.
I'm sure once the investigations are complete, they'll
put it out. All right, media and investigation team, let's get going with this.
So we have 2 pieces of NFL news that may have impacts on the draft.
Okay.
So I know you said we was going to talk about the draft. We're going to talk about who's leaving their prospective schools and entering the draft and who's staying.
Okay,
right?
So let's talk about Miami then.
Okay.
No, we're not going to jump over the subject. Keep going, keep going.
So, hot topic. Urban Meyer gets hired at Jacksonville Jaguars. And the implications that could have on the draft. What are your thoughts?
Well, I want you to continue and explain that.
So, Urban Meyer takes the head coaching position for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Right.
They have first pick in the draft. However, Watson, which is the second headliner, there's been a lot of circulation about him leaving the Texans. And could he be traded to one of these schools that have one of the top picks in the draft and be traded out, and how that's going to impact where Trevor Lawrence may end up, where Justin Fields may end up. They're saying that perhaps Justin Fields goes number 1 in the draft to Jacksonville now that Urban Meyer's there.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah. We talked about Deshaun Watson possibly going to Miami Dolphins, which is one of the...
All right, Miami. So let's make this... Hold on. All right, Miami. We need to make this happen. That's what they need.
Yeah, they would have to trade Tua Tagovailoa, and they would have to add in a couple other people to get Deshaun.
I think there's a value in it. There's an add value if they make that trade.
Yeah, but I think that right now Watson is very unhappy with the Texans, and he's going to make a decision probably to leave. I don't foresee him staying because of things that have happened with the hiring process of the new coach and all of that. He's just, he's tweeted about it. And
Yeah, I guess we'll talk about it in the upcoming weeks as it
As
progresses.
it
Right, and we'll be able to see it.
Yep.
see
As
it
the
actually
draft gets
happen.
closer. So,
Yeah, I
and we
don't really
talked
have too
about,
much feedback on that.
yeah, we talked about who's going to the draft, who's going into the draft, which we know Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields. They're going to be some of the top quarterbacks going into the draft. Then you have Alabama's losing a lot of people to the draft this year.
Yes.
So I created a winners and the losers
Okay.
of who the early draftee, how that impacted colleges.
You just got stuck. The
Yeah, I did.
Early
You
draftees.
were supposed to help me. You were
'Cause
supposed to
I
help
didn't
me.
know where you was going.
Okay.
I didn't know if you was going to get off the freeway or keep going straight.
So the winners from the early draft entry, Cincinnati, they're bringing back their quarterback. They're bringing back some starters from last year. So they're looking to have another great season next year.
I'm looking forward to that. What's interesting about that is like some of these teams like Carolina, Cincinnati, I think they're going to have a more improved year over last year because with you have like the top 4 powerhouses, they have players that they're losing. So I don't know if they're going to remain the top 4. I think Clemson, Alabama will continue to be strong. I'm interested in seeing how Ohio State perform next year.
Yeah, Ohio State. What's interesting is their star wide receiver announced he was coming back. Olave. They're really good receivers coming back. Now they lose Justin Fields and they're losing.
You gotta
some
have
other,
somebody that could throw to them.
Yeah, they're losing some other key players, but that's a big return for them. You know, having that veteran receiver coming back for his.
I mean, that's a plus for them, but they're going to lose Sean Wade, Wyatt Davis, and their star quarterback. I mean, I don't know how they're going to survive next year.
Next man up.
We shall see.
Indiana only has so far one early entry into the draft. So Indiana almost beat Ohio State, and they're bringing back almost everyone. So I think as long as they play like they did this year, they should have a decent team next year as well. Iowa State returning, they have a lot of returners coming back this year as well, and they had a decent team as well this year. Alabama, we talked about. So the losers, Alabama, they had 6 declared for the draft already, including Jones, Waddle, Smith, Moses, Surton. So they're losing a lot of their key players. But, I mean, Alabama's always like
going to have a good strong team.
Right. I mean, they may have like a minor drop off, like replacing a lot of those key positions, but it's not going to be like just horrible.
You have Nick Saban, right?
Yeah.
So you talking about one of the top head coaches
ever. Yeah.
Right? I have some stats on him too that I want to cover before we continue on this.
Go ahead.
So Nick Saban, because I want to commend him on his career. I talked about Alabama pretty much this whole since we started Friday football, but this is his 25th season as a head coach. Mm-hmm. He has won 256 games. That's a lot of games.
That's a lot of games.
256 games. This is his 7th national championship. He have won 10 conference titles, and the amount of players that have been first round draft picks that have left Alabama and went to the NFL. The number right now is 33.
Wow.
And you know the draft is not complete yet.
Right.
So 33 and growing. So it's just like wow, like just a phenomenal head coach.
Right.
So I think Alabama is going to continue to be a powerhouse.
Always. They just
always,
recruit.
yeah.
It's all about recruiting. They just recruit so well and build the players to, even if you're not playing your freshman and sophomore year, you've been trained so well that by the time you're a junior and senior, you're just
and the thing about Alabama is, see, like they will never get caught up in a scandal how Tennessee did because they have like a death pledge. So if they
Not a death pledge.
a death pledge,
Oh,
so
Lord, no.
you get paid.
X that.
Yeah, I just made that up real
He
quick.
just did.
But yeah, they just got a great team
Yeah.
always.
Yep. And Georgia's has 5 declared for the draft already. So, they had a good team this year.
Right.
Um,
I expected Georgia to have performed better as we got closer to the championship, but
USC.
USC.
University of Southern.
I started off checking it every other week, just like most people do. Then it got out of control. I couldn't help myself. I started checking it day after day after day. I didn't realize that I was becoming addicted until my wife said something.
What did you say?
She said, "It's just a credit score, relax."
Are you checking your credit score?
Hold on.
Cal has had the most early draft ease in the FBS this year so far. So they're losing more people than any school in the FBS to the draft so
Wow.
far. Yeah, so they're losing a lot. Miami. Oh, Miami.
All right,
While
Miami. Let's
you're returning De'Aaron King.
hold on. I hear something. Thank
Oh,
you. You got to calm it down. All right, so let's talk about Miami.
Yep. While you return De'Aaron King,
Mm-hmm.
you are losing some key defensive player.
Yep. Jalen
So-
Phillips, Gregory Russo, and tight end Brevin Jordan.
Yep.
So, and we talked about the defense.
That's crazy because we did just in talking about
Like
football in
every
general,
Friday football
yeah.
for probably the last 5 Friday footballs is they got to improve on defense and stop
Well-
giving up so many yards.
Well, maybe those going to the draft will give some of the younger players
The
coming
red
up
shirts, yeah.
opportunity to prove themselves and see how they do next year. I mean, it's going to be, growing into the position and just seeing how they do.
They have some good recruits that's coming in too.
Yeah,
On defense,
they've done well in
And
recruiting.
over the
so-
last 2 years, I think.
Yeah. So we'll see how the replacements come in and do. And
What do you think about them not firing the defensive coach?
I mean, I think you have to give them an opportunity to rebuild with the good recruits they have coming in. It doesn't change overnight. So I think you have to give them an opportunity.
The blogs don't agree. They are tearing many Diaz alive. They're like, why would he keep the defensive coach? Like, that's the problem. And
maybe it's not the coach. Maybe it was the players. I
Right.
mean, we always go to the coach first, and you can coach someone to a point, but they have to get on the field and then reciprocate what they're doing in practice. And so if they're not doing that, then, a lot of that isn't the coach's fault because they're not performing on the field.
but they always, you know what they say, they start at the top on
It does.
on that
It
chopping
does.
block.
I don't disagree. So I think maybe they give him one more season with the new recruits they have coming in, and he doesn't do well. Maybe they get rid of him after next season.
We shall see. Let's go
We shall
Hurricanes. That's the hashtag.
I mean, you got people on the blogs tearing Brent Venables up, and he's one of the best defensive coaches in college football. And you have Clemson fans mad at the performance against Ohio State.
Right.
And now he's not the best in their eyes. You know what I'm saying? But who
Longevity.
would not want Brent Venables as their defensive coach?
Right, you got to look at the performance over the long run.
Right. So, I mean, all in all, you're always going to have that in fans. It's always like a fan looking on outside looking in.
Right.
But, yeah, performance matters. That's key.
Who's next?
We're going to talk about Clemson.
All right, let's go Clemson.
Yeah. They return their entire defense.
The entire
Their
defense.
entire defense. All of their seniors opted to not go to the draft and to use the year grace that they gave, that the NCAA gave, to come back.
You think it was the brown paper bag
No,
strategy?
I don't think it was the brown paper
method? It wasn't the brown paper bag method.
I think that what Brent Venables,
Of course, I don't
instills-
think that either. So people don't like. I don't.
He's
think it's
just kidding.
that. Yeah.
I think Brent Venables rubs off on his players.
Right. Yeah.
What I mean by that is their performance was not what they wanted it to be against Ohio State, and that will haunt Brent Venables until he gets that opportunity again.
To redeem himself.
Yes. And I think that just that tenacity that we talked about like last week for Wealth Building Monday, I think he instills that in his players. And if they underperform, then they have something to prove.
Right. I think if I was playing and the team took that loss, I'd be like, yeah, I'm coming back. I'm not going to have this on my shoulders. Yeah, and leave. Yeah, no, we're coming back and we'll prove ourselves to be the best team. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if they would have beat Alabama if they would have got past Ohio State.
So this is what I said before we started the show. I was telling you earlier, Clemson had replaced 4 offensive linemen this year, and their defensive line was composed of 2 freshmen and 2 sophomores, and they still made it to the college football playoff.
That's impressive.
So
that's impressive.
You think the lack of experience? Your lines win the game. I don't care what anybody else says. If you don't have an offensive line and you don't have a defensive line and you don't win those battles, it makes it very difficult to win football games.
Of course, yeah.
So even with that inexperience in those positions, Clemson made it as far as they did this year. So returning all of that just gives them better experience.
I think 2021, it will be either it's going to be Alabama versus Clemson in the championship, or it's going to be Miami versus Alabama in the championship.
Ooh, okay, we're going to let them have that one.
But not while we're on the subject of Miami, N'Kosi Perry, he withdrew his name from the transfer portal.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit, but he's still looking to leave the school. He's just finishing out.
So you just want to graduate, say I graduated from UM, I got my degree.
And if you're that close to graduating, sometimes it's just better to finish out, instead of having to do a bunch of transfers and things like that.
Do you see any downside to him making that choice?
Not really. I mean, he's just choosing to finish out school right there. I'm sure maybe wherever he's looking into is like, it'd be better just to finish your degree out. Like I was telling you, I think before, I think that if you want to transfer to a school that doesn't offer your degree program or something like that, that could be a reason why he's doing it that way. So there could be many different reasons why he's choosing to do that.
Perry, text me because I need to know the inside scoop. You got the number, yeah. So y'all, I need to know the whys behind it.
Yep. What you got next?
That's it.
That's it.
We covered everything. Man, we covered the draft. We covered
A little bit.
the
We're gonna get
Tennessee.
into the draft. We're gonna get into next week. We're gonna talk about who's going to the draft. Really delve into where we think they're gonna go on the draft in the draft. You know.
What do you think about the NCAA and them having that freeze that actually gave like the seniors the opportunity to not go and come back for an extra season?
I mean, this year was really a wash, and it's really not fair for seniors to have to go out like that. What I mean is, I don't think it was as enjoyable. I'm sure that they were blessed that they were able to play,
Right.
and happy they were able to play. But to be honest, people want it to get back to normal. They want the stadiums full of fans.
Right.
They want to really
The
be able, the
energy.
atmosphere.
Yep.
I mean, so I think that some of them just saw it as an opportunity, if they're not up to where they think the NFL level is, it gave them an opportunity to say, you know what, I could spend one more year, gain more experience, get better, improve my draft stock, and, it worked out for the better for them.
That's an outstanding response.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Good job. Good job. And then you know what come after the clap. It is that time. It is that time. So guys, thank you for watching this episode of Friday Football number 31.
31.
Man, so we will see you guys on Monday for Wealth Building Monday. Make sure if you enjoyed the show to like, comment, hashtag YMA Nation. Make sure you hashtag YMA Nation down in the comment section below, because when you hashtag YMA Nation, your name will go into the drawing.
A drawing?
A cash
What?
drawing. A cash drawing.
Y'all don't miss it.
So make sure you like, comment, and most important,
Subscribe.
subscribe. And Wealth Building Monday, and then you'll be back on for Real Estate Wednesday. I have a special guest too for Wealth Building Monday. You guys are going to be surprised. So I don't know if I should tell them, but I'm not.
But he's not, guys.
Stay tuned, guys. Again, thank you. You guys have a wonderful day.
View what the boss's view. You gotta sacrifice. You wanna move like bosses move.
YMA, Young Millionaires Association.
time
Yeah,
is
see,
that,
that's the association. Joe.